Williams.
So, do you like your mug?
Oh, I prefer mine hot and steamy.
I'd rather be hugging.
How are your predictions for this race? How did
Off. Not accurate whatsoever.
Off. I know. Same with mine.
I thought Scott Redding, for one, was going to be way higher than he actually was. He placed pretty far down. Was it 10th?
Yep, 10th.
Placed in 10th.
Bad start. Fell down to 13th.
I mean, he had such a good preseason test. And then come race day, just, I guess, didn't have the speed.
Apparently, they had trouble. They had issues with using up fuel during the race. So they dialed back his power. And halfway through the race, he decided he didn't have pace. So he pushed up. Somehow he manually adjusted his power output to give him more power. Like, he just increased his power. But he thought that if he did that earlier on, that he would lose too much fuel to finish the race strong. But still, it wasn't enough. Obviously, they have issues that if he only placed 10th.
Scott Redding is chicken shit. Always go full power from the start. Always. The tires can handle it.
What exactly happened with Cal Crutchlow's electronics?
They don't know. But he was having issues. Like, he'd go onto the straight and his bike wouldn't give him full power because it was registering him in different sectors where they don't need full power. And in sectors where they wanted not to have as much power, they had full power, and that caused his bike to just be unrideable pretty much. Almost impossible to ride.
What I read was that some sectors, like some corners, you want to have, it was something like 20 or 30% power. Sorry, 20 or 30% throttle opening, I believe. Throttle body opening in that corner. And he was actually getting 60%. So basically, his power was twice the level as what it should have been in that corner. And because of that, he obviously was expecting lower power, so he went for the gas and way too much power and crashed.
He goosed her.
He goosed her.
He didn't mean to goose her that much.
Maybe he was right dickered.
Right before the race.
I mean, he's British.
Yeah.
You know those British.
Oh, you know
They just
them.
like getting kicked right up in the nuts
It's like-
and drinking.
Yeah. I would expect it from that Irish guy that's racing.
Rossi?
Yeah. So the Michelin tires.
Ian's going to bring us in.
Oh. So those
Ian. Oh.
So we saw some success with the Michelin tires on the weekend.
Michelin tires.
Doing right from the start.
I'm telling you guys, Michelin tires are the best thing that ever happened to MotoGP.
Yeah, people keep comparing them to Bridgestone. I don't know why. They're far better.
Bridgestone had nothing against Michelin tires.
You know, it doesn't matter here if you have the soft, the hard, the medium, the super hard, the super soft. They're all going to the end of the race, and they're all setting track records.
It's got grip. Grip for everybody, left, right, and center.
Why do you even need hard or medium when you can just use softs? They're so durable, these tires.
It is so soft. It feels better. You have more grip.
It's plushy.
And it lasts.
Yeah.
What else do you want?
It's like, it reminds me of a good toilet paper, really. Those, you know, it has extra texture. Apparently smoke was coming off some of those satellite riders' rear tires, though.
I wouldn't
Some
doubt that.
some wheel spin going on there.
Oh. How can you spin a wheel if it's got grip?
That is a question that you have to ask Michelin because they've created this magic tire. This race seemed like none of the riders wanted to be the one that made the mistake. There wasn't a lot of passing going on or a lot of fighting really till those last couple of laps. Mm-hmm. And even then, it was subdued. Like, no one wanted to push for that win yet, for those points. They wanted to make sure they came away with some points.
The only person that really pushed was Yanone, and he had the one crazy pass there and lost grip on the paint there and just crashed out.
Yeah, that wasn't a really aggressive move.
That was extremely aggressive.
On that first Dovizioso pass.
Yeah, like you said before, right there you saw the one guy was willing to actually push it, went too far, paid the price, and crashed out.
Yeah.
So why the other guys weren't pushing?
So Julian, were you expecting Dovi to be in the top 10?
You know
Yeah,
what?
Julian?
I didn't feel good about him being in the top 10, but that's just because I felt so good about him being on the podium. And he didn't shock me.
I'm done.
Andrea Dovizioso shocked me. He showed me something that I hadn't seen from him in the last 10 races he's raced in.
His
He
ass?
showed heart. Yeah, they actually put him on camera. There was lots of people behind him looking at that ass.
Yeah, because
And-
he was at the front.
Because he was at the front, and he raced really solid, didn't really trip up at all. Really impressive, actually. I'm not sure if he can keep it up, but I know that Qatar is one of his stronger tracks. Last year, obviously, he was just dominant there, but really surprised me.
This speed of the Ducati surprised me. I knew they were fast because of last season, but this season, this first race here, when Iannone and Dovizioso blew by Lorenzo like that, I almost defecated in my pants.
Again, I know they're flying, and you see Honda on the other side of the spectrum. They couldn't get a great drive coming onto that last straight, and they're gonna have to figure something out because this exact same problem as last year, that accelerating out of the corners, which used to be their strong point, has become a really big weakness for them. So they need to work on that and hopefully find a way to get their acceleration down pat on their bikes.
Lorenzo podiumed because he is phenomenally good at racing and because he has a great bike. Dovizioso podiumed because he has a extremely fast bike. Marquez podiumed not because of the bike, but because of his skill.
Yes.
He rode that bike to a podium. He did not rely on the bike. He forced it.
Yeah, that bike is a 5th or 6th place bike.
At best.
At best. And he pushed it beyond its capabilities into that 3rd place position, which is really... 2nd place, he made it to 2nd, which is really impressive.
And considering that there was no huge moments for him in the race, like huge slips or anything like that, shows how well he did.
Right, yeah.
Like that bike, he made that bike look rideable. And we know that it's not rideable based on the preseason.
Another surprise, Pedrosa and Vinales. Pedrosa rode... He was off pace, but he still rode a solid race, especially considering that he was struggling so much with setting up that bike in preseason and testing and whatnot. And Vinales, no fight. Well, I can't say no fight. He just didn't put up the same numbers that he was putting up in his testing and in his qualifying. A little bit sad. A little bit disappointed there.
The thing is, now, though, it's for real. Like, he was in a race. Points matter. The race matters. It's not like in preseason where you go out there and you try to go as fast as you can. If you crash, whatever, you have your second bike, get up, keep going. I think he was playing it safe. Being a young rider, that's pretty important for him too. Also, he was behind Pedrosa, who, let's not forget, he's one of the best racers out there too. Pedrosa is really good.
Yep.
He just didn't have the speed to hang with the front guys. Also, Vinales' start didn't help him at all either. Didn't have a great start. Dropped back in the pack and lost some drive that way.
The thing is, you can see that he finished 7th. That's their base now. They can build off of that. Last year was 12th, I believe. That was their base then. Now, what can they improve from the 7th place to where they're going to be at the end of the season now? There's hope that they're going to make the podium.
Vinales could place higher in the season's standings than Pedrosa, potentially.
Yeah,
I think so.
There's real potential there.
Potentially.
Yeah. He already has more points than Iannone. It's such a mixed movie because it has from what I'm hearing, it has such awesome stuff in there. Such awesome action. Awesome characters.
Awesome characters.
As in awesome fight characters.
Fight characters.